Hello, people. Good evening to everyone. Good to see you back on again with me here. Thank you for being here. And today's live at number 10. So happy to be here. And today there is a very good subject to be talking about it. It's training in the 50s. Training in the 50s compared to your 30s. Does anything change? And yeah, that's so good. That's so good. So yeah, some of you know me. Some of you have been to my live before. And for some who don't know my name is Orlando. Nice to meet you and good to see you here with me. We're going to be, as I said, we're going to be talking a very important subject today. Training in the 50s compared to your 30s. So does anything change at all? What I can say is, what I can say is, in my case, it hasn't affected me at all. I feel good. I train, let's say I train as if I was in my 30s. That's how I feel when I'm training. I just, of course, you get a little bit tired. Excuse me, you get a little bit tired, but we all get tired when you're training. But really, I don't feel as much as, because I've been training for many years. So training for many years gives me that consistency of like good physique, good fitness, and yeah, I feel great when I'm doing this. So basically, the idea is for you to train, you have to train smart. Yeah, when you're in your 50s, you have to think about your body, about your mind, about everything. So we've got some points to go through here. Like I'm gonna be like going through some points, like if you're not training, what could happen to your body? Basically, more or less, you know what could happen, and also what you could do to combat, to stop this ongoing process. Yeah, you've got some tools, you can use it, and that can help you to to feel better. To feel better. Okay, and the next one we're gonna be talking about, like what happens to your metabolism, because depending if you're in training, it's good for your metabolism. If you're not in training, it's not that good at all. Also, you're going to be talking about like changes in flexibility and mobility. Again, if you're in training, everything is going well. But if you're not in training, things will happen. Also, you're going to be talking about we tend to, when you're not in training, you tend to lose calcium from the bones. I think you know that. So, and your bones become weaker or maybe breakable. Yeah. So let's start with the points here about what happens if you're not in training. Yeah. So the first one I'd like to say is your body will deteriorate with age. We all know that. Like if you're not in your 50s and you're not in training, your body will decay. You will have problems later in life. So your body will deteriorate with age. The second one is like strength, power, and endurance will drop. That's for sure. So if you're not doing anything to your body, your strength, your power, your endurance will go, and that's not good. Another thing is your muscle mass, surround your body will drop, will decrease. And if you're losing that, things will happen. Another thing is your cognitive functions will be slow, like your reflexes, your thinking, and other factors affecting your body. So you see what happens when you just like you just work and then nothing else. If you're not training, it's a body. You have to take care of your body. It's very important. That's why I'm here to try to give you some ideas about. I'd say I'm a very good example because I've been in training for many years, and I'm not that crazy for training, but I love training. And I just feel great at my age now. Okay, another one that could happen, like I just mentioned, is your flexibility and mobility will drop. And again, without physical intervention, your body will never perform as it did once, which is a pity. So another one will happen is I'm going to say these letters, BMD, body mineral density. So which is like that will diminish the mineral in your body, the calcium will drop, and that could lead to osteoporosis. Yeah. So if you come to that level of having osteoporosis, it's not good. Okay. So again, so losing the mineral density can lead to osteoporosis. But I know we are always here. We'll be training, and we stop that. Another thing that can happen is change in metabolism. Yeah. What happens is a decrease in muscle mass. You can have a decrease in muscle mass. Yeah. So if your metabolism drops, it's because you're losing. It's lots of muscle mass. You're losing your muscle mass. So the more muscle mass you have, the higher is your metabolism, which is good. So you have to. It's a kind of, it's related. More muscle mass, more metabolism. Less muscle mass, less metabolism, and everything drops. Also, there is a gradual loss of skeletal muscle from around, I'm afraid if there is anyone who's like 30 in here, so that's when it starts. So you start losing skeletal muscle from the age of 30. It starts early. You see, if you're not training when you're in your 30s, you're losing that skeletal muscle. So much happens to our body. It's like you have to look at your body as a machine. If this machine is not working fine, there is something wrong. So you have to do something to stop your body going down the slope. Okay. Another one is, as I said, you feel that your strength, your power, your endurance, and muscle mass will decrease. So many things happening here. You see, power, endurance, and strength will decrease if and muscle mass if you're not in training. So I've written something here in order not to forget it, but it's like muscle strength decreases by approximately 30%. Muscle strength decreased by approximately 30% between the ages 50 and 70. So you see how much you're losing when between your 50s and your 70s. You're losing a lot of muscle strength. So you're losing about 30% of muscle, yeah, muscle strength, between 50 to 70. Again, there are tools you can you can use it to stop that. Of course, you not be like you're in your 20s, but boy, you're gonna feel great, because when you feel in your body and your cognitive functions working fine, you say, hey, weight training is helping me a lot. And I've had people come to me before, my clients, say, I feel much, much better. And that makes me feel happy because I'm part of the process. I'm helping them. Okay. So the next one is what you can do to combat this ongoing process. How can you kind of stop this? Yeah, you know, resistance training, whether or not you like it, you have to do. You have to do this. Remember, resistance training, okay? So the more you do, more you gain muscle growth. Yeah, that's good, muscle growth. So having more muscle growth will promote strength, power, okay, posture, and good balance. So that's all you need. You don't need to be a crazy one going to the gym twice a week, even once a week, as long as you come down to the gym and do something. Yeah. So the more resistance training you're doing, the more muscle growth you're promoting. So you're gaining more, you're improving more your strength, your power, your posture, your balance, your quality of life. You want more than that? Okay. So next one is, if you have any questions, just pop in the chat. I would be happy to talk to you and to help to you. For time being, I can see people are just listening to me. There is only one talking here. Okay. We've got types of resistance training. What kind of a resistance training you can do it? So what you can do is like compound exercise. Compound exercises, I've spoken before, you work multiple joints, yeah? Different muscle groups, not only one muscle group, but it comes together like a chest, like triceps, like back, like legs, and core, yeah? So what happens here, when you do compound exercise, you're gaining a lot of strength and muscle mass. You after that, remember, you after you don't want to be big. That's not the idea. The idea is to be healthy here. And the second one you can do it is weights. Yeah. So we're talking about like compound exercise, weights and machines. So you've got all at hand, and you just go and do it. There is no escape. Just go there and do it. So let me just drink a little bit of water. Okay, good. We're going to be talking now about what happens to your metabolism. Yeah, your metabolism is really related to your activity. If you are not active, your metabolism will drop consistently, and you're going to feel that. So it's been said that from the age of 20, I'm going to say the letters BMR, basal metabolic rate. What's that basal metabolic rate? It's the amount of energy you need to make your body function. Yeah. If you don't have that enough in your body, you're going to struggle to survive. So that's the amount of energy you need to make your body function at rest. That's when you're resting. So you need that energy. Like if you're just resting, you need that amount of energy in your body. That's called basal metabolic rate. That's what you need. Okay. So your body will be functioning at rest. And if you're training, it's even better. So it's working like a brand new car. Let's put it this way. So the lower your metabolic rate, the lower your metabolic rate is, the lower is your muscle mass. So it's a kind of like a comparison. Less muscle mass, less your metabolism. So your metabolic rate drops consistently as your muscle mass drops. On the other way around, if your muscle mass increases, yeah, if you have more muscle mass, so your metabolic rate comes up. So you've got more energy to your body. So they work together, side by side, yeah? Metabolic rate with muscle mass. If one drops, the other one drops. If one goes higher, the other one goes higher, okay? I think that's understood, okay? So, yes. So, again, if your doctor says your metabolic rate is not at the right level, it's because you're losing muscle mass. That's what it is. If you're losing muscle mass, will drop and you feel more tired because you don't have enough energy in your body. That's why men and women sometimes, if they're in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and they're feeling too tired, it's because of the metabolic rate. Could be one of the factors, not just that. Could be because you're losing muscle mass. You're not doing anything to combat the loss of muscle mass. So basically, you have to do something. And I try to emphasize here because I know how good that is, because I've been in training like other trainers in the gym for many years. And we all know how important that is, okay? Can be hard. It is hard sometimes, but that's how life goes. So another thing I'd like to point out here is about 2.26 27 reduction in muscle mass can result in, if I'm not wrong, is in 3 to 5% decrease of basal metabolic rate per decade. So in 10 years, you're losing about 3 to 5% of muscle. If you're not training, that's how much you're losing. 3 to 5% decrease. 3 to 5% decrease of basal metabolic rate if you're losing about 2.26 to 0.27 reduction in muscle mass. So it's a bit worrying because we talk about our bodies. So if you're losing that kind of 2.26 reduction in muscle mass, you're going to have like more consequences ahead, and you don't want that, okay? So therefore, preservation of muscle mass can increase, and it will increase your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. So if you can preserve your muscles, yeah, you can increase your BMR, okay? Meaning what? You can eat more, but not you can eat more like a good calories, yeah, and you still like burning, yeah, and you're not gaining weight because you have a higher metabolism. I'm more or less, I have this because I can feel I eat not a lot, but I can have my pizzas and I feel fine because I know I've always been training, and I did train today because I don't have weights at home. I have resistance bands, and today I worked my back. So like half an hour, 25 minutes, that's enough. So I'll be doing like 5 times a week in the flat. So it is hard. It is because you're stuck in the flat and doing this. But that's the choice now. I have to do it. And once everything is better, the virus is better, we can use the weights again, which I'm missing a lot. Okay, let me just have yeah, my throat's a bit dry now. Okay, guys, the next one is another thing that happens is your flexibility will change, yeah, considerably will change, yeah. That's normal as we getting older and older. your joints become stiffer and unstable. That happens to everyone. But again, you've got things. There are things you can do to kind of stop a little bit there. Okay, so yeah, so this happens because of like is the changes in the elasticity of our tissues. That's what happens. So the elasticity, like when you're in your 20s, it is good. 30s, okay, but when you get to 40s, 50s, 60s, and above, so everything changed. So the elasticity will drop, and then you have to do a lot of stretches, and could be yoga and things like that, but stretches to help you that keep diminishing. Okay, so yeah, that affects your tendons, your ligaments, muscles, everything. So that's why it's important to keep stretching, and also will affect your mobility. So my body affects everything. Mobility, elasticity, basal metabolic rate, everything. It's like an old car, and it seems as if like I like to compare. You know, when you buy a brand new car, and what do you do when you buy a brand new car? Wow, that's spank new, brand new one. You love it, and then supposing you just driving your car, you keep driving and you don't pump the tires, and you don't. Your car needs petrol, but you keep driving, and then I usually give this example to my clients, and then after 2-3 years, you say to your car comes to you and says, "Look, I cannot move anymore because you have not taken care of me." And but the car is still kind of brand new one. But because you have not washed your car, not oil, not pumped the tires, not nothing, your car will stop one day, and that's going to happen to your body. Exactly the same. You're born, you're enjoying yourself, you drink, you're going out. Some people are smoking, others are not smoking, and then you're not training, and then when you get to your 30s, 40s, and things start to arise, and then you have to go to hospital. It's the same. It is the same when you buy a brand new car. If you don't take care of your brand new car, you lose it. You lose your body, and things will happen. Okay, don't be scared. But basically, it's just like kind of advice. It's important you take care of your body. I mean, not just your muscles, but your whole body. Okay, so we been talking about flexibility, right, and mobility. Yeah, and talking about mobility, there is a kind of I don't want to go into more technical things here, because that's not the idea. The idea is to keep it simple. But there is a kind of fluid between joints. It's called like synovial fluid, and the less you have that fluid going through your joints, it's like not putting like oil in hinges and things like that, and it goes right. So you're gonna feel like your joints stiffer and stiffer, and it's a kind of discomfort, but that could happen because that's you reducing your flexibility and mobility, and sooner or later you're gonna feel your joints. Yeah. So yeah. And another thing that can happen is like your balance won't be the same, because if you're lacking in flexibility and mobility, your balance and your postural qualities will suffer. So that's what happens. Okay, next one I'd like to talk about again. We have spoken a little bit about it. BMD, yeah. Bone mineral density. Bone mineral density. You must have heard about it. This is like that's what happens is if you start to lose calcium from your bones, that can lead to osteoporosis. And you know what that means. Your muscles can become breakable and fragile. If you have a fall, you can break or can hurt yourself. So yeah, because you're losing calcium, and you will prescribe calcium for you, like a medicine. You don't want medicine. Okay, so there's this happens to men and women, but talk about women. Women, you know, they suffer more than us. It's a pity, and they. It says, especially after their menopause, during the 5 years after menopause, that's crucial for women. That's when they are really losing calcium. If they're not doing any training at all, if they're just like working, sitting on the couch, watching telly, yeah. And so after menopause, they during the 5 years after menopause, they suffer a lot with it. To combat this kind of aging process, weight training, lift weights, to help that. I'm sure even like do you feel better at lifting weights because it changed the mood, it changed everything around themselves. So osteoporosis is a big thing. I think myself, if I've said it before, I'm 58. If I wasn't doing strength training, for sure, my bones would be suffering and my joints and everything. But luckily, thank you, I'm good. I'm good with it at the moment, and hopefully I will be. Yes. So far so good. Hopefully, if anyone has a question, can pop in the chat. So yes, another thing is like training. This when I started here, I just said like the theme of this live today is training in your 50s compared to your 30s. Like again, for me, I don't feel. For me, it doesn't make any difference at all because again, I've been in training for many years, so that doesn't affect me. But again, if you are a newbie, you know, if you a beginner, that will affect you, especially being in the 50s, because you don't have that kind of fitness. Excuse me. Your fitness is not great. That's why you've come to the gym to train, for you, in your case, a training in the 50s will affect you. Yeah, will affect you, especially at the beginning. But after a while, and I tell you, after a month in training, 2 months, you're gonna feel different. But at the beginning, you're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel it's gonna be a bit tough. But boy, that's the way it is. Everyone has to start at some point. Okay, so basically, you just have to make sure you train smart when you doing your lifts. Yeah, if you're in your 50s, and if you're not sure how you have to do it, just get a trainer, just get someone in the gym, and they're gonna advise you how to do it. And yes, and then I've got more things here to talk to, about it. We're gonna go through like what you can do to help you, like if you're in the 50s and how can you recover from your training? Yeah, you for example, one is like you have to do a lot of resting. Yeah, if you like a newbie in training, I advise you not to train next day. because if you're just starting, you're gonna be sore, yeah, and that takes some time, some days to go, 2, 3, 4 days. But you know, when you're starting in training, you're building up, so you cannot be too eager, yeah, in training. Yeah, take it easy, go slowly, and then you build up, and then you can increase the weights. Okay. So so the next one I'd like to talk is it's I just have like if I'm just in tune here, just to have like so some advice I'd like to give here. I've just said one. In training, before training, you have to warm up. Yeah, good warm up, 5-10 minutes, very good warm up. And after training, you do your stretches. This is a very good tip for you. Yeah, you don't get many people doing that. You see people come into the gym and they just do like squats, deadlifts, whatever they see in front of them, and heavy, believe me, heavy, without doing any sort of stretching or even warm up. So just remember, when you come into your gym, just jump on the bike, yeah, or cross trainer or rower to 5-10 minutes. That's not difficult to do it, and then you're gonna feel much better to lift weights, and you will avoid like a pulling a muscle in your body. Okay. So again, it is vital, especially being in the 50s, you do weight training, because I've numbered here reasons why you have to do it. Because if you're not in training, your basal metabolic rate will drop. Okay, because again, this is the energy you need to keep your body functioning at rest. So if the more your basal metabolic rate is dropping, the more your muscle mass is dropping together, yeah, and the less energy you're gonna have. So you want more energy. You want more energy. If you want more energy, you need more muscle mass. Having more muscle mass, you have more. Your metabolism goes up. Yeah. So the higher metabolism, the higher is your muscle mass. The lower your muscle mass, the lower your metabolism, and things will deteriorate, and you don't want that to happen. Okay. So always like do mobility when you're in training. Do your mobility, do your stretches again. Yeah. Because when you're doing those, quality will be better, especially if you're lifting. It's you're gonna feel your body's not cold. You're gonna feel great. Yeah. And another thing is technique. Technique is paramount. You see guys in the gym doing some lifts. You have to put your fingers in front of the eyes because it's horrible to see. Like, for example, deadlift. When you do deadlifts, which is a compound exercise, again, compound exercise, you use multiple joints, yeah, and comes together, different muscle groups. They haven't got a clue about the technique. You see how much they round the back when they're lifting really 100 to 100 kilograms off the ground. This is a hell of a weight to lift. So you have to be careful when you're lifting these weights if you don't have a good technique. And what could happen here is you could pull a muscle in your hips. If that happens, you could have a long layoff from your training. And if you like training, you don't want to be away from your training. So yeah, for when I'm talking guys, I'm talking about like a women and men, anyone here, yeah. So we have to be careful with the technique. Technique is a especially in your 50s, yeah, because as I said, if you're not really in training, your cognitive signs, your thinking, your reflex are not up to date, yeah. Sometimes you're not paying attention to the movement, and then you can hurt your shoulder, you can hurt your back, you can hurt anything. So you don't want that. So make sure if you're standing and exercising, for example, if you're doing like shoulders, make sure you contract your core, suck your core in, yeah, bring your chest up, nice posture, and do the movement. And it's important you understand the breathing, yeah. That's something I spoke last time, yeah. When you're pushing and you're lifting, you're breathing out, yeah. You're breathing out. You breathe in when you release the load. Yes, you have to be careful of that. So if you're pushing, you breathe out, and when you're lifting as well, you're breathing out. So, but again, if you are a newbie in training, it's hard for you to because your trainer, you say make sure your technique is good when you're doing like shoulder, for example, shoulder presses, and then he's telling you, oh, your breathing is not, you're not doing correctly. It takes some time to synchronize everything, but as you keep training and training, that will come naturally. Like me, myself, I don't think about my breathing because it comes natural when I'm training, because that's muscle memory. We say like muscle memory, yeah. But again, if you're doing for the first time, second time, first week, second week, you take some time to understand that kind of thinking, yeah. So let's go through a quick summarizing here. So you've been talking about training in your 50s compared to your 30s, and my question was, does anything change? And I've put myself as an example. For me, it doesn't change anything, because again, I've been training for many years, and for me, it's like if I trained with a guy who's 20, 30, 40, it doesn't change anything to me, because I can keep intense in training. But like someone in my age, again, who doesn't do anything in life, in training, in fitness, we suffer, yeah. So then you have to be careful, you have to build up slowly, and you're gonna get there, okay. It takes some time, yeah, but you're not in a hurry. And I also, going through quickly here, I said about like what could happen to your body. Your body, if you're not in training, will deteriorate with age. That happens, yeah. Things will drop consistently. Muscle mass will decrease, your power will decrease, your endurance, everything will decrease, because you're not training consistently. And the only intervention you can do it to stop that, to combat this kind, this sort of thing, is weight training or lifting weights. The same, yeah. So what sorts of like resistance you can use? You can use like machines. Machines are good. Machines, if you are a beginner, machines are safer, because you just sit there and you push. You don't have to think too much. You can change the load. There is a stack of weights there with a pin. You can like move the pin up and down. That's it. So it doesn't require that much technique there. It's more like straight food. On the other hand, if you're standing and you're doing shoulders, you're doing back, you need a good technique. You need to know. You like, if you're doing, for example, let's say shoulder presses, your knees cannot never ever be straight like that. Always have to bend a little bit your knees and lock, because if you're working with your knees straight like that, it's too much pressure there. So you have to bend it slightly, bend a little bit your knee and lock it. The same for your elbows. You do the same, yeah. And the second thing I'd like to say is your core. You contract your core, because use your muscle stabilizers when you're standing, even when you're walking. Okay, so if you're moving, doing a lateral movement, you're gonna feel your core. You have to suck your core, otherwise your back will go. You can lose your back, and yeah. So you have to be careful with the movements. Also, I've mentioned about mineral, you tend to lose your calcium, loss of calcium from the bones. You lose that again because of lack of weight training. And your joints become stiffer, lack of flexibility and mobility will come all together. And then muscles will be pulling here and there, and then you're gonna feel your back, you're gonna feel here, there. So yeah, you need to make sure you need to concentrate on stretches and warm-ups. Warm-ups before your training, 10 minutes, 5-10 minutes, good warm up, and after your training, about like 10 minutes of stretches. Yeah. Sometimes sometimes I don't do stretches because sometimes I'm back to back with clients. So it's not because I don't want, it's because I'm in a hurry to have a shower and back to my clients. So sometimes I only can like train for 40 minutes, 45, an hour. An hour is okay for me, but sometimes it goes for 45 minutes, and I don't like training in a hurry. So that's why, so better for me to do something I need to do, especially my age, I need to lift the weights. Okay. Yeah. Basically, that's all about our live today, and I feel really privileged to have you all in here. And yeah, I'm coming back tomorrow again. So I have to keep like busy. I have to keep my mind busy, especially being stuck at home. Everything is shut, so so I have to be pushing my online business more and more, and it's good for my brain. I'm like someone working in an office behind a computer all the time. So my life always been like lifting weights and with the clients. So things have changed a little bit, but I feel happy doing this. I like doing this, and this is our live in number 10. I can't believe it. Time's flying. I've been doing like 2 lives a week, Monday and Thursday at 6 p.m. and yeah. So, but tomorrow I've got something really good for tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm coming on live again at 6, and we're gonna be talking a different subject. I can't remember right now, but tomorrow again. So I just like to say thank you for being with me here today, and I wish you a very good night, and see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.